as well as the kind of specific stuff there's a lot of areas, for example, to sire. And this is a good example of where we kind of look at the library and sort of, I mean, there's a lot more than say 20 titles that are shown here. But there are different elements that you can look at from inspection success and typical things that come up in inspection. And you curated these, Andy, this list of titles here, because this was sort of, you thought like, these are kind of ones that can contribute to specific ranks on board. So I mean, the message here, maybe you could talk about this better than me, but it's really about thinking about how can you use e-learning to strengthen some of those different elements that surround. So not just learning about what's going to happen in the inspection, but some of the things that support good inspection performance.
So really, this was based on the titles which we felt would be of the most help, if you like. So yes, as you say, that there could be 100 titles in that list, but we just looked at the ones that were the most used, the ones that were, and you can see it's broken down into oil tanker, chemical tanker, and gas tanker. The 20 that were felt would be of the most benefit, because some people really didn't know where to start. It was obvious to do the SIRE programs itself, but what else? You know, what else would be of benefit? So where it's a combination of where we know that there were difficulties and you know, some of the areas which, for example, risk assessment and management. You know, the risk assessment is always one of the sort of areas which is going to be looked at. And
just in the interest of time, Andy, as well, is a very similar thing as well, looking at RightShip. Now, again, I think you looked at the risk questionnaire and you mapped, I mean, there's hundreds of titles on that list, but
there are lots and lots of titles. We've mapped to every question, and in RightShip there are about 550 questions. So there's an awful lot there, and there's a lot of overlap. You know, so again, it does depend a little bit on the type of ship that you've got, but generally, you know, there's the same kind of titles are really important for each of those ships.
But I think the key message here, just in the interest of time, is obviously looking at, you know, we can help you to focus on some of those areas and look at some of those, learn from some of the inspection performance stuff that you've seen from your own company audits to tailor things expressly.